Hello and welcome back to Off the Crossbar podcast with myself, Regan Walsh, and now it is time for our Premier League preview, and we have a full slate of fixtures to look forward to this weekend in the Premier League, and there's only one place to start, and that is with tonight's fixture between Southampton and Leicester City. The Saints come into this match in 15th place, having a bad run of form recently in the league. They struggle for victories every now and again. I mean, it's been, 2 league games now. I know it's not obviously a long time, but it was the start of April when they last won a league game, and obviously last week they lost 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur, so it's obviously not the best of things for them heading into this weekend, and obviously facing Leicester City, a team on the march in the top 3, looking set to confirm a Champions League place, is obviously a daunting task for Ralph Hasenhüttl's side, and everyone will remember that time when Leicester beat Southampton 9-0 last season. Obviously the biggest home defeat by any English side in the Premier League history. So it's obviously not good remembrance of this fixture last year for the Saints. However, they will be hoping they can do obviously much better this time around and get some sort of result. However, it is unlikely considering the form Leicester City are in at the minute. Like we said, in the top 3, looked really well all season, and you got to say are definitely the favourites going into this game, and it's going to be hard for Southampton to stop them this weekend. The result would see Leicester close to 2 points behind Manchester United if they were to win, as Man United play later on in the weekend. Was a win for the Saints would move them above Burnley and Crystal Palace into 13th place on 39 points. Now, on Saturday, speaking of Crystal Palace, they are the lunchtime kickoff against Manchester City. Obviously, Manchester City were coming back off their Champions League victory the other night against PSG, and they won the Carabao Cup final last week against Tottenham Hotspurs. So it's the first piece of silverware already won for Pep Guardiola's side, so they'll be looking to do the exact same. And Crystal Palace have lost 13 of their last 17 games against Man City, winning just the other 2 and drawing 2 as well, failing to score on 10 occasions in that run. So it's obviously not the best of things for Roy Hodgson's side heading into this fixture, and I think the only thing they can be praying for are City are a little bit tired from that Champions League excursion over in Paris on Wednesday night, and they'll be hoping that can help them out a bit, but it's unlikely as Pep Guardiola's side are set to be crowned Premier League champions. It's just a matter of if and when, and they're currently on an 18 league game unbeaten 18 unbeaten run away from home in all competitions, and will be looking to make it 19 this weekend, and you got to say that odds are in Pep Guardiola's favour. Then at 3 o'clock on Saturday, it's Brighton versus Leeds, 9th versus 17th in the table. Leeds obviously don't really have much to look forward to. It's unlikely that they could make that Europa Conference League qualification place, though they could do. You never know with Tottenham and Everton slipping up. And Brighton, you would say they're looking over the shoulders to Fulham, but it's now becoming even more likely that they will stay up this season because Fulham aren't getting the results that they need to have any hope of staying up. So the fear is still there, but it's not likely to worry them too much unless they were to lose this game badly and Fulham were to win their game at the weekend. The result for Leeds would obviously see them stay in 9th place on 50 points, so move 4 points ahead of Arsenal, and a win for Brighton would move them on to 37 and give them a bit more of assurance of survival and possibly move them up to 14th place with results elsewhere going on this weekend. Then the 5:30 kickoff is a London derby as Chelsea welcome Fulham to Stamford Bridge. Thomas Tuchel's side on the back of a impressive 1-1 draw against Real Madrid in midweek in the Champions League. Again, they're looking really good in the league under Tuchel. They're slowly on the rise, obviously now in the top 4, overtaking West Ham. They can close the gap to Leicester a bit more. Obviously, if Leicester lose this weekend, Chelsea can close that gap right down to just 1 point between themselves and Brendan Rodgers' Leicester side. However, they will be needing their forwards to fire on all cylinders this weekend, as although Fulham have been hit and miss at times, I think they could really throw the cat amongst the pigeons if they get an upset this weekend, Fulham, and they'll be hoping to do so. A win for Fulham, should they get that shock victory, would move them on to 30 points and put them only 4 behind Brighton. And a win for Chelsea, like I said, would put them 1 point behind Leicester City as we come to the curtailment of this season. And then the final game on Saturday sees Everton take on Aston Villa at 8 o'clock from Goodison Park. The Toffees are in 8th place with 52 points at the minute, and Dean Smith's Aston Villa are down in 11th on 45 points. Both teams have got a game in hand over everyone else in the league. This is because they were meant to play each other a while back now, but was postponed. So it's going to be a close fought game between the two sides. I think I don't expect any one team to have the upper advantage. So it's going to be a close fought battle personally, and it's going to be interesting. I think it's just a matter of, can Villa hang on for the 90 minutes and potentially get something late on, because I don't expect it to be a high-scoring game. Then on Sunday, we kick off at St James's Park with a 2 o'clock kick-off as Newcastle welcome Arsenal up north. Arsenal in bad form. For me, they're not looking really impressive under Mikel Arteta, though we've said that a lot on the podcast. Down in 10th place, obviously, on the back of last weekend's defeat to Everton. I'm recording this currently before their Champions League tie with Villarreal, so I think that's something else to take into consideration. How they get on with that Villarreal game later on today for me depends on how they head into this Newcastle fixture. And Newcastle, they're one of these teams, you never know what type of Newcastle are going to show up, whether it's going to be a masterclass from Steve Bruce or an outer shambles from the Magpies, but it's definitely going to be one to watch for in the early games this weekend on Sunday. A result for Arsenal would see them leapfrog Leeds, obviously, if Leeds were to lose, on to 49 points, and Newcastle would move them on to 39 and possibly leapfrog Palace, Burnley and Southampton. Right, then it's the big game of the weekend as Manchester United welcome Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool to Old Trafford at 4:30, the main one on Sky Sports this weekend. So with that being the typical way, it could be the same result as last weekend for Manchester United. It could be a 0-0. However, they won't be wanting that. They will want to get a victory here. Again, Manchester United play this evening for me against AS Roma in the Europa League. So would Solskjaer change the starting lineup a bit with Sunday in mind? I'm not too sure, but it's going to be a very interesting watch between these two sides. United obviously wanting to have a little bit of faith that the title race is still open, although unlikely, but they're practically confirmed in the Champions League places for next season anyway, so that will give them a bit more restoration and reassurance that they will be in the Champions League definitely next year. Liverpool on the mean hand, up and down, currently in 6th place, 54 points. Again, results go against them this weekend before they play. They could be down as low as 7th and possibly 8th, depending on when Spurs play, which is after them. And obviously, if they lose to Manchester United, that won't be a good thing for Jurgen Klopp's side. Speaking of Tottenham, they are the next game. They play bottom place Sheffield United in what is Ryan Mason's 3rd game in charge. Obviously, last time out, they lost to Manchester City 1-0 in the Carabao Cup final, though we're not going to take that much into consideration, considering he had been in charge of the team for barely a week. However, this time out should be a comfortable victory for Ryan Mason and co, as Sheffield United have been really poor this season. Yes, they got a win last week in what was their 5th win of the season in the league, but I think it's going to be hard for them to get anything at Spurs this weekend. And then on Monday, we have 2 games to round it off. We have the West Midlands derby between West Brom and Wolves at 6 o'clock in what could be a very entertaining game, because Wolves have been really poor this season compared to previous year in the Premier League, and at times Sam Allardyce has got this West Brom side playing really well, and I think they're going to be up for this fight with it being a derby as well. So I expect big things in this game. A result for West Brom, I think, would put them on to 28 points. Obviously, if Fulham lose, they would be ahead of Fulham, but it's still that gap then to Brighton and Hove Albion, which is still quite big at this stage of the season to have any chance of survival. And victory for Wolves would move them on to 44 points, so they are not going to be moving this weekend. And then the final game is the battle of Claret and Blue sides as Burnley take on West Ham at 8:15, again on Sky Sports, I believe. This isn't really going to be an interesting game, I don't think. West Ham, obviously, they will be wanting to get that last Champions League place back from Chelsea, so they'll be hoping Chelsea mess up this weekend and that they can get there. And obviously Burnley haven't got much to play for as they're up in 14th. They're not going to go down, they're too good to go down, and they are unlikely to move any much further up the table, so it's going to be an interesting one to see. Right, we'll be back next week to review all the Premier League fixtures and look around any other big talking points from around the world of football. A reminder to like, comment and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter as well, so you never miss anything out from this weekend's games and any other talking points from around the world of football. And until next week, we'll see you.